Dan Henderson gives praise to Joe Rogan for being a pioneer of the sport of MMA, saying this photo was from UFC 17 middleweight tournament. Shout out to Joe for being a pioneer of the sport. And I love this post because often than not, those outside of the cage get forgotten about. Those outside of the cage don't get mentioned enough and not given their flowers enough for not only pioneering their position, right? Joe Rogan as the commentator, but also his position in elevating the sport. Joe Rogan, the podcaster, Joe Rogan, the debater, the guy who goes on ESPN and goes back and forth with big time boxing promoter Lou DiBella at the time. You know what I mean? Still to this day he promotes, but you get what I'm saying. He was representing MMA. He was putting on for MMA. Joe Rogan from the sitcom world, from Fear Factor, all things like this, a comedian, you know what I mean? So, you got a celebrity here that's backing this sport that nobody wants to be involved with, and it's viewed as a brand risk. Oh my God, how could you support human cockfighting and all things like this? Like, that's how people were talking about the sport of MMA back in these days right here that you see on your screen. And look at where we are now, where MMA is arguably winning. So first and foremost, shout out to Dan Henderson for that. What a good guy, someone who acknowledges that and puts a spotlight on those outside of the cage. Well done on him, and follow him as well on social media. He's a good follow, and also he it looks like he's getting back in the cage. It looks like he's getting ready to put that old H-bomb on someone again, and I don't know what it's going to be in, if it's going to be in bare knuckle, if he's coming back to the UFC. I mean, listen, the last time we saw the guy, he lost in the title fight that I thought he should have won. I thought the only reason he lost to Bisping was because they were in the UK. I mean, they just gave it to him. It was a very, very, very close fight in that rematch, and make no mistake about it, he came closer to finishing Bisping than Bisping ever came close to finishing him. So, what do you want to say about that? Now, back to the pioneering of the sport. Joe Rogan is just a fan, guys. He's a fan that competed in Taekwondo back in the day, and he does jiu-jitsu, but ultimately he's a fan first, and that's what it was. It wasn't his play-by-play analysis that got him the job. It wasn't his ability to call out the X's and O's and, yeah, he can do that. Yeah, he could tell someone how, he could tell us, the audience, how the guy should be trying to pass the guard or what he could do to tighten up the triangle or X, Y, and Z, right? Sure, he can do that, but what really got him the job was his passion for the sport, his ability to react to a knockout or a submission with excitement that gets the fans on their seats excited, and he had a great ability to relay that passion through the airwaves and through the screen, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's more, he's us. Joe Rogan, when he's in that commentary chair, he's not the X's and O's guy, because you got Daniel Cormier for that now. You got Dominic Cruz for that now. You got Bisping. You know what I mean? You have all these ex-fighters and Hall of Fame level guys in that position now. Joe Rogan has always been and will always represent the fans, us, the passionate ones, the ones that are, oh my God, when someone gets knocked out and we lose our shit. You know what I mean? So shout out to Dan Henderson for this post. Shout out to Joe Rogan for being a pioneer of the sport. And a few others, literally everyone, right? Like Dana White, pioneer of promoting. There was no other promoter. Nobody else was promoting the sport like that. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying, and emerging as number one, right? Like, you got Scott Coker out there, you got the Pride one, Sakibara, you got these people out there, but Dana White was, look at him now, UFC is king, right? So it is what it is. Bruce Buffer, the voice of the Octagon, all these people, bro, like even Ariel Helwani. I know a lot of people like to give Ariel Helwani flack these days, but bro, Ariel Helwani here with, like, bro, that's iconic, bro. Like, if you was watching back then, like, it just is what it is. Like, if you weren't, you missed it, and I'm sorry for that. But if you was watching back then, you know what I'm talking about. All these people deserve their props. And yeah, shout out to the pioneers of the sport that have opened the doors for people like me to set up a camera and build a following off talking about the sport that they love and that they're passionate about and things like that. So shout out to everyone involved in the sport. Shout out to all the pioneers, and thank you. Now, let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with me, disagree with me? It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion. Follow for more. If you enjoy your time spent here, leave a like as well. Thank you. You are all appreciated.